हरे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Wednesday, it is 16th of July. It is Shravana Masa, Shridhara Masa, Krishna Paksham, Sastiti Tithi. There are no Vaishnavas in the calendar, so we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so the conversations between Vidura and Uddhava. So those were taking place. So Uddhava spoke to Vidura saying that I have received the transcendent knowledge, Atmanaha Paramam Sitim. Now I am going to Badrikashrama, Badriyashrama Mandalam. So Dhammishe Daitam Tasya Badriyashrama Mandalam. And Vidura, he understood that Buddha has got that knowledge, that answer. Atmanaha Paramam Sitim. So Vidura inquired from Uddhava, saying that, Uddhava, can you please describe all those things to me? So likewise, it is Jnanam Param Swatmaraha Prakasham Yadaha Yogeshwar Ishwaraste Bhaktum Bhavanurhati Yadhi Vishnoho Brutyaha Subrutyadha Prutascharante. So the devotees of Vishnu, that is Vishnu Brutyaha, so they are wandering on the world to give this transcendental knowledge to everyone else. So Brutyadha Prutascharante. So they wander just only to relieve the conditional souls from the material entanglement. Can you please describe that transcendent knowledge to me? Vaktum bhavanaha. So likewise, whenever Vidura inquired from Uddhava is today, he is mentioning that, O Vidura, so along with me, Maitreya Rishi also has received. So he is the worshipable person who has got all the transcendental knowledge. He is the Rishi, and he got instruction directly from the Lord when the Lord is leaving this material world. So likewise, Uddhava is directing Vidura towards Maitreya Rishi. Okay, so likewise, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 4, verse number 26. The conversations are taking place between Uddhava and Vidura. After that, Uddhava leaves, and then Vidura goes to Maitreya Rishi. Okay, so all these narrations are Sukadeva Goswami describing to Parikshit Maharaj. And again, outer layer, Suta Goswami is describing to Saunakadi sages. And now we are discussing in our Dora Assembly. Like with so many layers. Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 4, verse number 26. Uddhava Uvacham Nanute Tattva Samradhya Rishihi Kausharavontike Sakshad Bhagvatad Adishto Matya Lokam Jihasata. Uddhava Uvacha. So Uddhava is saying, Nanute Tattva Samradhya Nanute. Nanute. So, however, say unto yourself, of yourself, O Vidura. So, he mentioned Nanute, however, Tattva Samradhyaha. Tattva Samradhya is one who is worshipable for reception of transcendental knowledge. Rishihi Kausharavo Antike, and the Rishi, who is son of the Kusharu or Maitreya Rishi, who is staying nearby. Rishihi Kausharavo Antike is nearby only. Sakshat Bhagavata Adishto. Sakshat Bhagavata Adishto. He was directly instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sakshat. is directly Bhagavata Adisto. Adisto is the instructed. Bhagavata by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Macha lokam jihasata, when the Lord was leaving this material world. Macha lokam is the mortal world, where death takes place, where everyone meant to die. This is Macha lokam. Mortal world, jihasata, while quitting this material world. So likewise, Uddhava is directing Vidura towards Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya Rishi is nearer to that place, Yamuna Tata. So Maitreya Rishi is at the Haridwar, next to the Ganges River. So Nanute Tattva Samrajya Rishihi Kausharavantike Sakshat Bhagavata Adisto Matche Lokum Jihasata. The translation for this shloka. Shri Uddhava said, "You take lessons from the great learned sage Maitreya, who is nearby and who is worshipable for reception of transcendental knowledge. He was directly instructed by the personality of Godhead while he was about to quit this material or mortal world." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so can I request any unallocated devotees to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Mataji.
Although one may be well versed in transcendental science, one should be careful about the offense of Maryada Vyaktikarma, Vyatikarma, or
Vyatikrama. Maryada Vyatikrama.
okay, or impertinently surpassing a greater personality. According to a scriptural injunction, one should be very careful of transgressing the law of Maryada Viti Krama, because by so doing one loses his duration of life, his opulence, fame, and pity, and the blessings of the world. To be well versed in the transcendental science necessitates awareness of the techniques of spiritual science. Uddhava, being well aware of all these technicalities of transcendental science, advised Vidura to approach Maitreya Rishi to receive transcendental knowledge. Vidura wanted to accept Uddhav as his spiritual master, but Uddhav did not accept the post because Vidura was old, as old Uddhava's father, and therefore Uddhava could not accept him as his disciple, especially when Maitre was present nearby. The rule is that in the presence of a higher personality, one should not be very eager to impart instructions, even if one is competent and well versed. So Uddhava decided to send an elderly person like Vidura to Maitreya, another elderly person, but he was well versed also because he was directly instructed by the Lord while he was about to quit this mortal world. Since both Uddhava and Maitreya were directly instructed by the Lord, both had the authority to become the spiritual master of Vidura or anyone else. But Maitreya, being elderly, had the first claim to becoming the spiritual master, especially for Vidura, who was much older than Uddhava. One should not be eager to become a spiritual master cheaply by the sake of profit and fame, but should become a spiritual master only for the service of the Lord. The Lord never tolerates the impertinence of Maryada Vitikrama. One should never pass over the honor due to an elderly spiritual master in the interests of one's own personal gain and fame. Impertinence on the part of a pseudo spiritual master is very risky to progressive spiritual realization. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, this purport is mainly based on the Maryada Vedikrama. Maryada Vedikrama is respecting the actual process is respecting the elders. And if we just surpass, if we do not respect the elders, if we do not take instructions from the elders, and then it will become like a Maryada Vedikrama. So here, if we see the relationship between Uddhava is already older ages, and then Vidura is in his father level age, and Maitreya Rishi is in the father level. He is like father level of Vidura. Father Maitreya Rishi and Vyasadeva, they are friends. Vyasadeva is the father of Vidura. So if we see, so how much they are very uh, in terms of their ages. So here that Maryada Vitikrama, and also in terms of the transcendental knowledge, Maitreya Rishi also has received that same transcendental knowledge from Krishna directly. So here, though one may be intelligent, so one should not surpass the greater personalities. So that is the essence of this purport Prabhupada is describing. So one should be very careful about the offense of Maryada Vitikrama. So sometimes we see that there may be sannyasis, and one may have taken the sannyasi from his spiritual master, but until his spiritual master leaves this mortal world, he cannot give initiations while his spiritual master is present, just for the sake of name and then personal profit. So likewise, Prabhupada is mentioning here, and also, for example, sometimes some of the sannyasis that we would personally see that they do not initiate disciples unless there is a consent of the his spiritual master. Okay, so here, according to the scriptural injunction, one should be very careful of transgressing the law of Maryada Vikrama, but because by doing so, one loses his duration of life, his opulence, fame, and piety, and the blessings of all the world. This is very, very important when we have got the children as a parents and children. So children sometimes they speak opposite to the parents. That is not good for them because parents are always well wisher of their children. And even though children become the elderly, like mostly matured adults, even their parents may be older and their intelligence may be bit weak during their older ages, but still we should not speak anything ill towards them. What happens? So here it loses his duration of life, his opulence, fame, and piety, and the blessings of all the world. So one has to always respect our worshipable people. Um, Whenever there are austerities of the bodily body, where Krishna describes in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Deva Dvija Guru Pradhyam, and one has to worship the gurus and brahmanas and parents, elderly, and likewise, these are the austerities of the body and the austerities of the words, like the anudvekaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. These are always to be maintained. One should respect all our elders, spiritual masters, um, um, that is the mother and father, and then spiritual master, and then the supreme personality of Godhead. Likewise, all the demigods, all the respectable people. One should not surpass. So, to be well versed in the transcendental science necessitates awareness of the techniques of the spiritual science, because it would protect us from falling down and making mistakes and offenses. Sometimes we may do it. Okay, he is not a devotee and he is a devotee. Before devotee, I will be acting like very nice. He is not a devotee, but I don't have to think about anything. That should not be there. So in such a way, one may be making offenses unnecessarily or unknowingly. Even though he is not a devotee, we need to respect them. So like towards the all the living entities. Manasaitani bhutani pranamit bahumanayan. Pranamit bahumanayan. So this is Manasaitani bhutani. So one has to respect all the living entities. It doesn't matter. Ishvaro Jivakalaya Pravishto Bhagavaniti. The Lord is in present. So that is the transcendental. But still, in the bodily level also, one has to respect his parents and spiritual master like that. It doesn't matter whether he is a friend or something like that, not a friend. And then further here, coming to here, Uddhava being well aware of all these technicalities of transcendental science, advised Vidura to approach Maitreya Rishi to receive transcendental knowledge. Vidura wanted to accept Uddhava as his spiritual master, but Uddhava did not accept the post because Vidura was as old as Uddhava's father, and therefore Uddhava could not accept him as his disciple. Okay, especially when Maitreya was present nearby. So Maitreya is later on Vidura meets Maitreya in the Haridwar next to the Ganges river. So now Vidura is meeting here Uddhava at the Yamuna Tata, so nearer to the Yamuna river. Okay, the rule is that the presence of a higher personality, one should not be very eager to impart instructions, even if one is competent and well versed. Okay, so sometimes we might be saying this one. One should be just patient, be patient until one is given a chance to say something. Okay, so Uddhava decided to send an elderly person like Vidura to Maitreya, another elderly person, but he was well versed. So also because he was directly instructed by the Lord while he was about to quit the material world. So Uddhava decided to send elderly person like Vidura to Maitreya. So further Prabhupada is describing since Uddhava and Maitreya were directly instructed by the Lord, both had the authority to become the spiritual master of Vidura. Anyone else but Maitreya, being elderly, had the first claim to becoming spiritual master, especially for Vidura, who was much older than Uddhava. So sometimes we may not see some. Nowadays, we have got instructions in the YouTube. All spiritual masters, so many people are giving these instructions of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That is really good, but they are not directly personally, we are not associating with them. Sometimes we see younger people are preaching Krishna consciousness, but that is on the instruction of his spiritual master, his elderly or his authority. Okay, so one should not be eager to become a spiritual master cheaply for the sake of profit and fame, but should become a spiritual master only for the service of the Lord. Apart from that, Janmaishware Srutasribihi Yedamana Madapuman Naivahati Abhidatma by Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. So if this should be only engaged in the service of the Lord. Otherwise, if he says something like that for my personal gain, something like that, then we cannot understand Krishna easily. Akinchana Gocharam. The Lord never tolerates the impertinence of Maryada Vidikrama. So one should follow. So whenever Krishna was engaged in the Rajasaya sacrifice, like to receive the Brahmanas, Krishna used to wash the Brahmanas' feet and sprinkle that water on top of his head and sprinkle on everyone else that water. So that a menial service that Krishna took. Of course, Krishna is always um, he he mentions that Brahmanas are my worshipable objects. Likewise, the Lord Krishna only says, we personally see that he did that one. And when he receives with his friend, Krishna's friend, Sudama, he just personally massages his legs. And the Lord, he personally massages the Bhrugus. I think that there is another pastime. The Bhrugu goes to the Vaikuntha to test the Lord, and there Lord, we see that Lord personally massages his legs, Brahmanas. And so here, Lord is always inclined towards the Brahmana. Brahmana is the one who is always engaged in the devotional service to the Lord and without any material engagements. Okay, so here Lord never tolerates the but impertinence of Maryada Vidikrama. One should never pass over the honor due to an elderly spiritual master in the interest of one's personal gain and fame. Okay, so that is impertinence on the part of the pseudo spiritual master is very risky to progressive spiritual realization. Okay, so it is straightforward. So one has to एतवध्येव शुश्रूषा कार्य पितृपुत्रकैः भाडमिति अनुमन्येत गौरवेण गुरोर्वचः. Lord Brahma says to his Kardama Prajapati that one has to follow the instructions of his father or spiritual master with so much of respect. Gauravena Gururvachaha. So one has to be, these are natural things, but it will automatically come while we progress in the spiritual path, learning all these things, controlling the senses, controlling the anger. Okay, so that is from this purport. Prabhupada is mainly stressing on the Maryada Vetikrama. Vetikrama is the surpassing, and the Maryada is the respect. Yes, so that is from this this particular shloka. Nanute tattva samradhya rishihi kausharavo antike sakshat bhagavato adishta macche lokam jihasata. So Maitreya Rishi is the one who is worshipable for reception of transcendental knowledge. So Uddhava is directing Vidura to go to Maitreya Rishi. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Nainar Bhirama, September 26th, 1970, Calcutta. Can I request Usha Mataji to read this letter, please?
Yes, Prabhu. My dear Hina Pirani, please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your letter dated September 10th, 1970 and noted the contents. I have not yet received the bag sewn by your good wife, but I beg to thank you for the check of $100 forwarded to my book fund. I am so glad that you are now together, husband and wife, engaged in serving Krishna and as an ideal Krishna consciousness householder couple. Do not be discouraged that you are only four devotees at the present moment in Philadelphia. Simply you very strictly follow the routine schedule of devotional service and chanting Hare Krishna and do our best to spend this moment amongst the local people. Krishna will send you many more sincere souls very soon to help you. So go on with your work with new efforts of increased enthusiasm, and Krishna will bless you more and more in Krishna consciousness. Please increase your program of distribution to the public as well as trying to place our books and magazines in the libraries. This is very successful in libraries in other centers. I am very glad to know that Mr. Gutcher is continuing his interest in our movement. So please encourage him in this way. It is very good that his brother, Mr. Navin Gutcher from Taiwan, is also interested in a center there. Please contact Balimardan immediately in this connection. He has got great eagerness to open branches in that part of the world, and he has got already invitation from Hong Kong and Fiji. So this will be added influence to his work if you kindly give him further information regarding our friend in Taiwan. I am very happy to know that Mrs. Max, the proprietor of Paragon Bookstore, has remembered me and I have written or one note which I have sent in care of you for forwarding to the proper address in New York. Please offer my blessings to all the devotees there and your good wife. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever honest Shakti Sirukirtan Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
So Prabhupada is asking about the Naina Birama's wife. He was going to send the big bag, but he didn't receive. But he's thanking for the $100 check he forwarded to the book fund, and that Prabhupada said, "You both couple do the Krishna's service. That's a householder couple. That's a good ideal for the Krishna consciousness householder couple. So the both can engage in Krishna service, and the Prabhupada is saying about the um, for about the if even that less devotees but stay strictly you can follow the regulative principles and you can engage in Krishna service and Krishna will send more sincere souls like then more sincere souls to engage and then joining Krishna service. And Prabhupada said that in the library books and magazines it goes very successful. So try to put in other center in libraries, books and magazines. And the poet says he said that Mr. Gajar is when he is interested in the movement, so encouraging him, and then his brother also uh, uh, and, was to the open in Taiwan, the center. So then Balimadana is good at it, and please contact him so we can have open the branch in Taiwan, and then other friend wants to like in Fiji also they want to open the center. So yes, Professor, main thing is yeah, spreading the Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was so main. That's a takeaway. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely summarized. Thank you so much. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Okay, so in this proof of this letter, one more point. So here, we should not be discouraged that we are very few devotees like that, because it is Krishna only mentions that Manushanam sahasreshu kashid jyatiti siddhe yathamapi siddhanam kashid mam veti tatpataha. Out of so many millions of people, very few people only come. But here in spreading Krishna consciousness, the three principles, one is the purity is the force, books are the basis, and preaching is the essence. Then everything will come perfectly in due course of time. So Krishna will send you many more sincere souls very soon to help you. So that would happen. But it may not be collectively we are going to spread, but at least we can try in our native places. If we have come from our villages or different towns, at least in and around, we can spread this word of Krishna consciousness movement. So that is essential. So that is the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Wherever we are, each devotee means he is carrying Krishna in his heart. So that means wherever he goes, he become a pilgrimage. भवद्विदा भागवताः तीर्थभूताः स्वयं विभो तीर्थे कुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि स्वान्तः हस्तेन गदावृता. Yudhishthira says to Vidura. So likewise, one can make wherever he goes, he makes a pilgrimage. So just presence of Krishna devotee, ISKCON devotee especially, he speaks so much of philosophies. So we see our devotees, even children also, they speak on Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Okay, so that is necessary. One must be sincere. strictly following the routine schedule of devotional service and chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, so that is the basic foundation. Okay, and everything else, like Prabhupada is mentioning, to open the centers throughout the world. So that is my takeaway from this letter. That is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today is Wednesday, evening at 8 o'clock, we have got Kirtan evening. So Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukha Sangha Param Rajet. Just glorify Krishna and get relievement from the material world. Mukha Sangha Param Rajet. Okay, that is at 8 o'clock. Okay, so that is update from me. And dear devotees, if you have got any updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness or any events, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण कॉन्शियस डे एवरीवन
Hare Krishna.
हरे